Hi there, this is Rob with DJowner.com, and today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about how to DJ with an iPad. Now, I've seen this question a lot online, a lot of people interested in how do you DJ with an iPad. There's actually a couple different methods, and I'll talk about those in a little more detail, but I want to show you what are the very basics that you need if you've got an iPad and you want to start DJing, you want to start experimenting a little bit, or if you're an existing DJ and you just want to figure out how do I work with the gear that I already have. There's very little that you actually need to get started when you're DJing with an iPad. Basically, it breaks down into three different categories. The first is going to be music. Obviously, you need something to DJ with. Second is going to be you'll need a little bit more equipment. And then the third being that you actually need some DJ software. So let's start with the most basic, music. Obviously, if you've got an existing library of music, you can just load that onto your iPod, or iPad rather. That's very, very simple to do, very easy to do, great way to get started. And then the thing that you can layer on top of that is a lot of the DJ apps that we're going to talk about work with streaming services. So something like Spotify, Tidal, SoundCloud Go, Beatport, those all have different streaming services that you can use to extend out your music collection. A lot of those integrate directly into a couple of the DJ apps that I'm going to talk about. Now, kind of big note here on music, Spotify has announced that starting in July of 2020, they're going to discontinue support for third-party apps. So a lot of the software is not going to be able to stream Spotify directly in it anymore. We're going to have to see what the future holds for that. I have a feeling that Spotify might be working on their own sort of DJ streaming because they used to be a big supporter of it in the past, so we'll have to see what comes with that. But that's just something to be aware of, that while Spotify works now, it won't work as much, or it won't work in third-party apps starting in July of this year. So once you've got music loaded onto an iPad, you can use a couple different DJ apps. Now, I have my iPad here with me. Wanted to show you one in particular that I like, which is Algorithm's DJ, DJAY. And this one is really the one that I started with, one of the better ones out there. And they are now on version 2, and I just saw as I was loading up here, which I didn't have time to load in, they've gone to a version 3 which gives a lot more features for a lot less cost. In fact, it looks like it's going to be free, a lot of the professional features that they're charging for in DJ2. So this is what it looks like right here. Very, very simple. I'm going to try to get it out of the light so you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, there we go, a little bit better. Very simple, 2 decks and a crossfader in between. Very easy kind of app there. Download this through the App Store, just search for DJAY, and you'll find that. Another option for you as well, which I actually have installed here too, is Traktor DJ. Now, Traktor, made by Native Instruments, very big DJ software out there, and they've built a very big music software out there with their kind of main Traktor platform. But they've built a DJ application that works the same on both desktop and iPad. So that's a good option for you there. And let me see if it'll let me load up a song. Yeah, we can just see what this looks like here as we load it in. I haven't played with this very much. It's telling me I don't have enough disk space, but basically the app looks like this. Very simple interface, very easy to use, track at the bottom, track at the top with the crossfader in between. Now, both of these apps support split queuing. And then the final app that I would recommend is one by Pioneer, which is called WeGo. Now, WeGo is the app that they're going to recommend for you if you get some of their smaller controllers that work with iPad specifically. It's the native app to go with that. Works through Bluetooth, and you can plug into it as well. So Pioneer WeGo. So you're going to need one of those 3 applications to really get into the meat of DJing on an iPad. It's not like you have a lot of different software choices, but those are the 3 that I would recommend. I've also seen people use Cross DJ in the past. There's some others out there that you can explore as well. Price points wise, Traktor DJ is completely free. So that's a great option, especially if you haven't committed to anything so far. The pro features on DJ2 by Algorithm are, I want to say about $40 right now annually. But it looks like they've gotten some pushback on that because it used to be completely free. So that's something that it looks like maybe DJ3, I'll have to do some research on that and probably provide some details in the comments below and on my website as well on what the future holds for DJ specifically. And then Pioneer, WeGo, my least favorite of the 3, but I believe that's free as well. So once you've got music loaded and you've got some software loaded on there as well, then you can actually start getting into DJing. But to really make it useful, you need a little bit of extra equipment. So, when you look at your iPad here, if you've got an old one like I do, you've got a microphone and headphone out there, and then you have some sort of charging capability on the backside there as well. This is I believe, iPad 2 or 3, old one, but still working really well. So again, I recommend, like I always do, start with what you have. Don't worry about rushing out and buying a new iPad if this is what you're thinking about. But because I've got those connectors, or if you've got a newer iPad like the iPad Pros that just have the Lightning or the USB 3 connector, you're going to need some hardware to go with this to make the most of it. So first and foremost, with most DJing things, you're going to need some headphones. And they're a little springy today, apparently. These are my favorites, monoprice headphones. If you go on my website and search for recommended headphones on DJowner.com, these are the ones I recommend. They're $20, and they are perfectly worthwhile. They're comfortable, they isolate sound, they give you good quality sound, and they're like 20 bucks. So you really can't go wrong in that way. But to put all the magic together, you need this magic cable right here. Now, this looks like just a standard headphone splitter, but I assure you it is not. This is actually the one made by Tractor, by Native Instruments. This is a split queuing cable. And let me see if I can get it closer to the camera where you can see here. It's a little difficult to see, but you see that one's got the headphone icon on it, and then the other side has a speaker icon on it. What this actually does is it splits your stereo channel into 2 mono channels on the back side. And then software like DJ and like algorithms actually support split queuing. So I'll show you what that looks like here. If you go into the settings, there's a split output setting there. You hit split output, and now you have a new set of features in there. You can actually set your headphone volume, and you can do that Q mix slider to either go all Q, all mix, or anywhere in between. Gives you a lot of extra options there. So that's what's actually going to get you into DJing features when you are using these apps like this. You really need that split queue because you're not plugging into a secondary output source. You're not plugging into another audio card. You need to be able to listen to one song while you're playing another song to really get all the features that you'd find when you're DJing. Otherwise, all you're doing is really just building a playlist and pushing next on a playlist. That's not as compelling as actually controlling the music. So you definitely want one of these splitter cables. They're like 10 bucks on Amazon. So easy thing. If you've already got the iPad, you get some free software, $10 on a pair of headphones, and you're off to the races. You can put it all together really simply. And then the other thing that I recommend is external power. So I've got my, I think I just showed you my phone number. I've got my AC adapter here for my iPad. And then I went out and purchased from Monoprice, again, God love them, a 6-foot cable, extension cable. That's my 30-pin charger. So whether you're Lightning or USB or 30-pin, whatever it is, you're going to want that extended power because this is going to suck up a lot of battery life while you're DJing, and you want to be able to work a whole party if that's what you choose to do. So you'll need that power. 6 foot is not long enough, I can tell you that. I'm standing at my DJ table right now with my controller in front of me, and this was causing me problems because there were only certain spots on my table that I could put the iPad and have it plugged in and have the cables run where I wasn't tripping all over them. So if I had to do it again, I would definitely buy a 10-foot cable. They're not that much more expensive. I think I just got one for my mother-in-law so she could sit on the couch and charge her phone while she's playing with her phone because she never plugs it in. It's like 20 bucks. So totally worthwhile there. And then last piece of gear, last but not least, that I'm become a big fan of, IKEA had one of these tablet stands. This is really nice to set on my table, holds the iPad up for me really nicely while I'm set next to my controller. I can use this as an additional source. If I was going out on my own and just using this, that would be fine too. Love this thing, and I'll actually read off the back for you here. This doesn't have a model name, but if you go on IKEA and you search for tablet holder, this was like $3 or $5. My wife bought it for me. She's like, just try it, you'll love it. And of course, she was right, as always. So highly recommend that too. And then, last but not least, If you've got one of those, any one of the iPads, whether it's USB C or the Lightning connectors, where you're routing both audio and power through the same output, you're going to need an adapter that splits those two out, because you're going to need to have one adapter that'll allow you to plug in this queuing headphone piece, and then you're going to need the other part to be able to plug in your power at the same time. So you need that splitter to be able to work both of those. And I would do a little bit of research, do a little bit of digging. I don't have one of those myself, but you want to make sure that you're not getting, I've run into some adapters where you can't get the software won't recognize the adapter because it's not routing the proper signal or what have you. So make sure that you get a good adapter, pay a little bit of money for that. I think they're like 10, 20 bucks. But that'll save you in the long run, and maybe even buy some from somewhere like Amazon where you can test one out, and if it doesn't work, they've got great return policies. You can send it back and tell them why it didn't work for you and that you need a different one. And maybe even go full out and buy the Apple version of that adapter, because then you know it will work. Or you can complain to Apple and get a free one. So that's always a nice feature there. So that's the bare basics on what you need to DJ from an iPad. And how do you do it? That's the next question. Now that's kind of a longer question. So what I want you to do is actually, if you go on my website, I'll give you 9 steps, all this detail plus 9 additional steps about how to walk through step by step by step. What exactly do I need to do to be DJing from my iPad? How do I set it all up? And what does that look like with all of these pieces that we just talked about? And how do you actually get to mixing on that iPad? So some details there. If you go to my website, go to djowner.com, djowner.com/iPad DJ. So djowner.com/iPad DJ. That'll take you right to my How Do I DJ on an iPad article, give you all this detail plus a bunch more to be able to look at this all at once. So hope this was a helpful resource for you. I'm going to keep these videos coming as I get more questions and publish more articles and share more information out there about my 25 plus years of being a DJ. So hope you liked it, and we hope to see you again real soon.